Craggy Rugby podcast. I'm sitting here with William Davies.
Yeah, outside the McWilliam Park Hotel in Claremorris, on our way back from a very interesting couple of hours in Ballina Rugby Club.
For the Connacht team and management, we're up attending the summer camp that Connacht are running throughout the province, and it's Ballina's turn to get them this week on the first chance we've had to meet the new coach.
Indeed, but when you go to Ballina, first person you see is God. So this is Gerry O'Donnell, and this is what he had to say.
Gerry O'Donnell, long-time contributor to this podcast, from Krasnoyarsk in Siberia to that famous day in Edinburgh, and now we're standing on the sideline here in Ballina. It's good to talk to you.
Thank you very much indeed, William. You're most welcome to the home of rugby in the northwest, and it's a pleasure to have Connacht here today, training with all the local youngsters, and it's a big day in the youngsters' lives, but great to see it.
There's a fabulous atmosphere, isn't there?
There is. This is building for quite a few weeks. Unfortunately, today is a very big tourist day in Ballina. It's a heritage day, which means there'll be about 40,000 people in the town, and unfortunately they haven't all made their way down here, but nevertheless we're absolutely thrilled with the response, and it's just great for the growth of the game in this region of Connacht.
Last season was something very special, going back into the Ulsterbank League, Cawley Cup, Junior Cup. What else did you win? Junior League?
Junior League, it was a very good year, a very eventful year for us. We have a huge squad of young lads in this part of the world, and they demanded higher standard of rugby. And we said, okay, if you guys want a higher standard of rugby, win all before you, which they did. And now they find themselves in the All-Ireland League, and the average age of the team is probably roughly 22, 23, which is magnificent. So we're looking forward to stepping up and competing against better standard clubs. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but players will improve their game the higher level they go to.
And you'll be looking forward to welcoming teams up to here?
We will. We'd have old friendships with a lot of them. Bangor in the north, Sea Point in Dublin, Middleton in Cork, Bruff. And while top class junior rugby is very, very good, the gap is not that wide from the division in the All-Ireland League that we will be in. So we're looking forward to it, and we're going into it with our eyes open, and to win the section if we can do that.
It's great to talk to you. We hope to catch up with you again during the season. It's a very important season, obviously, for Ballina, but it's also an important one for Connacht going forward, and we look forward to seeing you at the sports ground.
Thank you very much, William, and again, you're most welcome to Ballina, and thank you for all your help.
Okay, good stuff from Gerry there.
Yeah, he's a great interview because he gets his point across, he says his thing, and he knows. He said, how long do you want? And I said, about 2.5 minutes. Great to see him, real club man. They were very excited today by this. Boys and girls out running around having a great time. Boundless energy, because once the Connacht players went off, they had a bit of lunch and out they went again. Running up and down the pitch, skills, passing, kicking, everything. Really good fun, and very important to see Connacht doing this. This is you got to get out and meet your fans, meet your future players, and it was a very enjoyable day. The main attraction was Andy Friend, and of course we had our new signing today.
We did indeed. Colby Fainga, back row player, who who on his Wikipedia page, someone has written in that he's played scrum half as well, but off the record, Andy's Friend didn't believe that was something that was real.
No, but let's have a listen to what Andy Friend had to say. His first time meeting with the Craggy podcast and Galway Bay FM.
It's great to welcome Andy Friend to Mayo today here up in Ballina and to Connacht Rugby. When did you actually arrive in?
Arrived in the country about a week ago, Tuesday last week, so I've lasted the first 7 days.
Bit of jet lag, you getting onto our time zone and our slightly hotter weather than you would be expecting?
Definitely enjoying the weather. It's been fantastic, and jet lag, I got over that after about the third day, so I'm definitely in the time zone too now.
Season has really started now, hasn't it? It's sort of this is when it happens. It's the middle of July. Games are a little way away, but you're fully up and at it. It's back to business.
Yeah, it is. My first day was a day off for the players, so we had a good meeting with staff. That was last week. The boys had been in 2 days before that, so I missed the first 2 days of their program, but we had a good Thursday and a good Friday, and this week we started off with our theme of physicality, so we're already into body on body at the moment, and the squad's looking really good.
When you look at, and I appreciate this wasn't within your tenure, but it's been pretty openly discussed that the last 2 starts have been quite difficult, the last 2 pre-seasons. So are you confident now that this pre-season will run close to schedule, and that by the start of the playing season, Connacht will be ready to go? Yeah,
listen, pre-seasons are pretty short here too. I'm used to a longer pre-season, but it's great to be here with these boys now, and our strength and conditioning program. Our boys there, the coaches there, have got them in good shape already. The coaches on the deck there, Jimmy Duffy, Nigel and Pete, got really good systems in place, so we're just going to follow on from where we were last year. I think we're a long way ahead of, in talking to them, a long way ahead of where we were this time last year, and it's just about adding a little bit of detail and getting their confidence up.
Obviously, you're inheriting this sort of squad, but we hear today that Colby Fianga is joining, who's a player that would be perhaps closer to being your signing. Is that more of a challenge when you don't know any of the players, or you haven't actually signed the bulk of the squad?
Yeah, that's part of coaching. Everywhere you go to a new club, you do inherit a team, and it's trying to work with those players that are there and get the best out of those players. Over the course of the first year, 2 years, there'll be some players there that may not fit the style that you're after, in which case you'll probably move them on. There'll be other players you want to bring in, but I think part of the nature of our job is to come in and try and work with what we've got. So I'm very comfortable and confident with the squad that we've got there. Colby is a good signing for us. A well-known flanker in Australia anyway. Very good over the ball. Just played his 100th cap for the Melbourne Rebels. 100th Super Cap it was with the Melbourne Rebels. But he's going to be a real addition to the squad.
And would he be sort of a technical flanker, or would it be more a physical?
He's a bit of both, to be honest. He's always been used more as a ball poacher, but he's got a very good running game too, and that's one of the things we want to try and bring out in his game here.
You've spoken in some of the interviews that I've read and some of the audio pieces about culture in rugby. So you're only here a week, but what sort of a culture do you see here?
I see an honest culture. I see a group of players and staff who want to be led a little bit, but also are willing to work really hard and believe in the club and the province that they're playing for. I can see their passion. We're here today at Ballina, and you can just see the energy that the boys have got to come here and to be here with these young kids, the grassroots, the green shirts, and to bring that through. So that's really important to me. Rugby's more about being giving to a community and making sure you're a part of a community, and I think we've got that in spades in this group.
And you were coach at Harlequins when Connacht played them back in 2006. So did you have any particular memories of the sports ground from that?
I remember turning up and thinking, wow, I can't believe how windy it is, and I can't believe the rain, and I don't believe anyone's going to turn up and watch this game. And much to my amazement, the Clown Terrace, which I now know it's called, was virtually full, and the local support was just phenomenal. I think we won by a point there, but it was a very tight and tough game. But I remember walking away thinking they're very passionate about their rugby in this province.
Well, we certainly are. We wish you well for the forthcoming season, and we look forward to talking to you before it and throughout it.
No, I appreciate that, and I'm more than happy to share my comments on views and all things Connacht rugby.
Thank you, Andy.
Okay, good stuff from Andy Friend. I'm loving the fact he talks about culture and the importance of culture.
Yeah, it was a very confident performance. He had quite a lot of media to do. He was at ease. He looked like a man who was really enjoying himself. He was out running around doing various training drills, and there was a buzz around the place, which look, let's just be blunt, it was missing at the start of last season and the start of the season before. I know they were coming off a championship win, but that was had a slightly odd feel to it as well, a slightly tired feel. So it's too early to make any real judgments, but I enjoyed chatting to him, and I think he will find engaging with the media something that he does with alacrity. But I would expect as well that he can be fairly direct when he wants to be.
Yeah, and the other thing is that you got the feeling from the players who seem to be loving it as well. At one stage I was watching Ulton Delan with 2 kids hanging off his legs, another kid hanging out of his back, and he was carrying another fella. Players seem to engage and loved it, and especially local hero Dave Heffernan.
Yeah, look, it was great for him to come back today, and I took the opportunity to have a chat to him.
Dave Heffernan, kids have just been asked here at the training camp in Ballina who wants to be the new Dave Heffernan, and I would say about 45 out of the 67 put their hands up. How good was it to see something like this today back at your old club, and also to be a part of it?
Yeah, look, it's unreal getting down here. Obviously, as I said, look, the club had huge success in the last few years. All the work that's been done has been unreal, and I think to get some of the lads down who wouldn't have seen it before here, it's brilliant. And just to meet the kids and stuff as well, I think we probably had more fun than they did out there. So it's been a really good day, and yeah, obviously delighted just to get everyone out to Ballina and see what we're about here.
Well, of course, it's a down day for you before they start flogging you around the sports ground again. How has the pre-season and the strength and conditioning and all that grim stuff that has to be done going?
It's been good. I've enjoyed it. Tough so far, but I've enjoyed it. I think last week was kind of a bit of an intro to it. It was hard, but I think this week, next week, it'll be the very tough ones now. So I'll have to rest up for tomorrow and make sure we're good to go anyway. Yeah.
This season coming, it's probably quite a big one for Connacht. They need to maybe re-establish get a few more wins and stuff like that. Are people starting to talk about that? And also the fact that John Muldoon, such a talisman, that now other people have to, within the group structure of the team, have to do a bit of talking and a bit of leading.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, firstly, you're right. I think it's a big year for us. We do need to kind of re-establish what we're about, and we can't let the momentum we kind of did build from winning the Pro 12 a couple of years ago completely. We can't let that go completely. We need to get some of that back. Obviously, that was a very special year, and it's not realistically going to happen every single year. But we want to be competitive. We want to be competing for trophies. We want to be in that top 6 and get back in that Champions Cup. And then I suppose on the point of losing guys like Mull and Brownie, they've obviously left huge boots to fill. Both of them are massive characters. And you also experienced guys like JP Cooney around the place, who brought a lot to the club, not just on the pitch but off it as well, and they would have been a huge part of the culture we built. So it's kind of up to a lot of the more senior lads now to fill their boots and to take over that mantle, that leadership mantle. Because obviously, Mull's been captain here for as long as I can remember. So it's huge to fill, and just guys have to step up into that role now. I think it'll be good for a lot of us as well. Maybe kind of force us to come out of our shells a bit and make that step. So it's obviously never nice losing guys like that, but I think he went out on a real high, and now it's just up to us to take over from that. Yeah.
And what are you looking for personally from this season?
Personally, I'd be looking for more consistency in my performances and get a lot more starts and get a lot more game time. I think just find that consistency. It was frustrating at times last year. I'd have a good game and I wouldn't follow it up then after that. Find that consistency for me would be massive. Just getting more game time and just trying to get on the pitch as much as possible and help the team.
Dave, good to talk to you. We look forward to watching you during the season and chatting to you again later in it.
Perfect. Thanks a million. Cheers.
Yeah, I think Dave was really impressed with the fact that the amount of numbers and he did say when he was chatting to the kids that I came from here, that it's possible to get all the way to where I am from where you are sitting down on the ground now. So if you want to put some time and energy and effort into it, that it's all possible, and it is brilliant to see Connacht reconnecting with the rest of the province.
It's vital. I said this is hardly news, and I think Connacht is different to all the other provinces. I think needs to be a slightly different mindset here as to how you go out and sell rugby. And it's no use at times people sort of decrying and saying, well, they're not interested in rugby up in place X. That somebody will. I'll say, yeah, that's fine, but have you given them an opportunity to be? I mean, I was brought up with rugby. I was born in Northern Ireland. My father was a Welshman. I was handed a rugby ball when I was 18 months old. That was it. It's the same way that kid in Kilkenny, girl or boy, is probably handed a hurley, and they go off and they play camogie or they play hurling. So the things like today are vital, and the players engaged with it. They're very good at this. There's nobody. It's not forced. They're having a bit of fun, and it was just very good to see. And I was delighted we got the opportunity to attend it. There will be a media day in August, and that's slightly different again, how that comes across. But today, I thought worked very well.
Yeah, I was impressed with it. As I say, the players seemed happy, all enjoying themselves. I think they were enjoying the break from the pre-season slog, even though I believe there was some problem with the bus not having air conditioning on the way up.
Yeah, well, we live in this tropical climate, Alan. I mean, it's a big problem. Last year they would have probably had to put fleeces and woolly hats on if they were doing this event. So, yeah, look, everybody seemed to have a very good tan today. I get the impression there's been a lot of this training's been outdoors, and 32 degrees to Andy Friend would just be normal.
Exactly. And then I think that we got a number of interviews, but I think the last one we're going to hear for this week's podcast was our new signing, Robin Copeland, who I thought gave a great interview.
Yeah, this is worth listening to, and he explains what he's going to bring to Connacht.
Well, standing on the side of the pitch here at Ballina with all the minis, and Robin Copeland, Connacht's new signing from Munster, has come along to join us. Robin, when did you get up to Galway?
I arrived here Thursday, nearly 2 weeks ago. So yeah, I'm here nearly 2 weeks now.
So you're settling into the process, new team?
Yeah, it's been great. To be honest, I felt like I haven't been a new guy at all. Rocked in day one and was treated like one of the lads, and I never felt like I was a new guy or anything. The same. They were giving me the same stick as they were giving everyone else, and it's been absolutely brilliant. I've been really impressed with the whole place, the squad, the facilities, the coaches, the S&C. Everything has been fantastic, and I'm really excited about getting going now and getting the season underway.
It's unusual for a player to come up from Munster. It's only down the road, but we don't get a lot of transfers coming that way. What are you particularly hoping to bring to Connacht this season?
I suppose just express myself. I think Connacht, historically, the Connacht style of rugby will suit me. I like open play and I always try and look for a gap and look for space and try and find areas of the game that are opportunities. So that's historically, I suppose, how Connacht have tried to play. I think we're going to have to find our own way of doing things now. A lot of experience is gone, a lot of young guys in the team, new guys coming in. We're not last year's Connacht, we're not the years before. We're going to have to find our own identity. So that's going to be exciting to see where we can get to. It's with a new coach coming in, finding what he wants to do, getting into his style of play. Everything is there for us to succeed and get to where we want to get to. I'm really looking forward to the next 3 or 4 months, I suppose, till those major decisions are made and all those things start to fall into place.
Is part of the role to maybe in some ways toughen up Connacht so that they come closer to the Munster approach? Munster tend to win games that Connacht don't win. They find a way, and sometimes it's by sheer doggedness or belief, and if you do that, the more you do it, the better you get at it. Is that sort of something that's been mentioned?
I hate that stuff. I despise it with a passion. There's no Munster way, there's no Munster secret, there's no anything. It's just how willing are you to win that last 50-50 battle? Though, like, how many one-score games did Munster win in the year that could have gone either way, and it just happened? Like, it's nothing to do with anything else other than just having that winning mentality, and anyone can do that. Like, you know, there's no reason why anyone can't have that mentality, and Connacht have done it. They've won the league. They've won those tough games, you know, and it is. I hear a lot of it with fans and stuff like that. It's the same, and you know, I wish I could just beat everyone with a stick as soon as they mention to me, because I just doesn't make sense to me how you can think like that after so much success and the talent that's here, you know, and if no one has said it in the change room or around the place, but if they did, I'd be the first person to pull them up on it, you know. So what am I going to bring? Am I going to bring that winning mentality? I don't know, but you know, I know the way I think, and I don't think like that. I go out to win every single game, no matter who I'm up against. And if we're the underdog, that's brilliant. I love being the underdog. I'm going to try and kick the crap at anyone who's in front of me. I don't care. Like, that's just the way I try to play. And if that's the mentality that I bring, then that's all the better, I suppose.
Well, it's a passionate place, the sports ground, when it's going, and with that attitude, I think you're going to have a good time there. We look forward to you playing for Connacht this season, and we look forward to talking to you during the season.
Thank you very much. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, what a great answer to that question about Munster, wasn't it?
Well, it was a very hackneyed old question, and it could have got a very hackneyed old answer, but it didn't, and I think that shows somebody who's really thinking. It's interesting. I like the fact that he said, look, there's a lot of fans think, but I suppose you realise that in dressing rooms they can't think like that, but they can play like that.
Yes.
And I still think that maybe that's what he is going to be about. It's just a slightly different mentality. The thing about Munster that fascinates me is they manage. There's games they win that they shouldn't win.
Yes.
And if you keep doing that, it builds.
Much like our championship winning season.
Yes.
Because if you look back at it, I think we won something like 8 or 9 games by less than 5 points. Something along that lines. I can't remember exactly now, and I don't have my notes with me. But, you know, we won games that we don't normally win in that season, and we just need to get that back.
Yeah, close out the tight ones and have belief. And fight all the way, and that's what he talked about. But I thought it was a really good answer. I thought it was a good interview, and I think it was alluded to that he's fitted in very well. And I think it's interesting. You know, they are looking for leaders now. We'll hear a little bit more about that in forthcoming interviews that we'll be using in the next podcast, which will be released as soon as we have some more fixture details for the Pro 14, because it's becoming a bit tedious. Yep. But we need to get these fixtures. People need to know where they're going and what their opportunities to go and watch Connacht, or people maybe want to come home from somewhere to pick up a home game. Yeah. So as soon as
I had, like, Rosie tweeted us the other day, and I wasn't able to answer because I didn't have any details, and I was hoping to get some details today. So Rosie on Twitter was connected up with us. So sorry, Rosie, I haven't got any info just yet. But as soon as we have it, we'll make sure we get it out there.
Yeah, and the rugby season sort of never ends. It's only a couple of weeks ago Ireland were winning a Test series in Australia, and now it's pretty much although talking to some of the guys today, they said they'd had 6 weeks off because obviously, well, they didn't go into May, they didn't get into playoff time. It all finished at the end of April, and they don't want that.
Yeah, and of course then we've got once the Pro 14 fixtures are out, we get the EPCR 2 weeks later, apparently, according to their Twitter handle today.
Well, glad to see they are coming out, but you do have to wonder about it taking another 2 weeks. It's very important for fans. They've got to, you know, people need to book flights. Flights are cheaper, the hotels are cheaper. People need to book time off work and stuff. It's a tiny bit.
It is frustrating, and of course, you know, for people who are looking to get the best information about where Connacht are playing and how to get the best flights and hotel deals, the Connacht Clan, connachtclan.com have some brilliant information on there. It's really detailed, really good. They put a lot of effort into it, and yes, that's the best place to go and find that information once the fixtures come out. So Just one thing I noticed during the week, the Perpignan coach, or director of rugby, had some interesting things to say, William.
Monsieur Christian Lanta was his name. He described his pool in the Challenge Cup as a royal gift of a group with the great Irish province Connacht, Sale and Bordeaux Begley. So I think that's a fitting way to finish this podcast.
I most certainly think it is. We'll be back again soon. Thanks, William.
Cheerio, Alan.